Welcome to Sharad V. More English School online lecture. Good afternoon, student. Today we have to learn the balance and unbalanced forces. Okay, you might have played tug of war. क्या खेला होगा आपने? Tug of war. In tug of war, when the forces of the both team is same, then the players of any team do not move in any direction. But the forces when become unbalanced, then one side players are pulled down towards the other side. So when the same force applied on the both sides, then it is called as the balance forces. You must have played tug of war so long as the force applied by both the sides are equal, balance. The center of rope is static in spite of applied force. So what happens when the force is balanced? Then the center of rope in the tug of war remain its same position. Do not move here and there. On the other hand, when the applied force become unequal, that is unbalanced, the net force gets applied in the direction of the greater force and the center of the rope shift in that direction. So when the force become unbalanced, then only that center of rope shift towards the sides where the force is greater. An object continues to remain at rest or in state of the uniform motion along the straight line unless an external unbalanced force acts on it. Okay, so what we have learned from this paragraph, that until the force become unbalanced, the things, objects remain in their rest or in stationary state. When an object is at rest or uniform motion along straight line, it does not mean that net force is acting on it. Actually, there are number of forces acting on it, but they cancel each other so that net force becomes zero. Newton's first law explains the phenomenon of the inertia, that is, inability of an object to change the state of the motion or its own. जो फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ मोशन है, क्या है वो? उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? लॉ ऑफ इनर्शिया. मीन्स दोज ऑब्जेक्ट विच आर इन state of rest, they want to be in the state of rest, and those who are in motion, they want to be in motion. Until the force is applied on them, they do not change their state, and this is nothing but the law of inertia. And the motion's first law of motion is nothing but the is inertia, that is given by the Sir Isaac Newton. All instances of the inertia are example of the Newton's first law of motions. So all examples which are related to inertia, they are also examples of the first law of motion. तो जो एग्जाम्पल इनर्शिया के, सेम एग्जाम्पल किसके हैं? न्यूटन्स फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ मोशंस के हैं. नाउ न्यूटन सेकेंड लॉ ऑफ मोशन. अब हम लोगों को क्या लर्न करना है? सेकेंड लॉ ऑफ मोशन. The effect of on one object striking another object depend both on the mass of the former object and the velocity. Effect of an object striking to other object depend on two things. First one is the mass and second thing the velocity. The mass, this means that effect of the force depend on the property related to the both mass and velocity striking the object. This property is nothing but the momentum by the Newtons. तो इस प्रॉपर्टी को न्यूटन्स ने क्या नाम दिया है? मोमेंटम. एंड दिस मोमेंटम इज नथिंग बट द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ द मास इनटू वेलोसिटी. ये क्या है? मोमेंटम मास एंड वेलोसिटी का प्रोडक्ट है. मीन्स कि अगर mass increase hoga, then momentum will increase. If velocity is more, then also momentum will be high. The momentum has magnitude as well as direction. It have the two things, magnitude as well as direction. It means it is the vector quantity. In SI system, the unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second, while in the CGS system it is gram centimeter per second. So you have to remember this. What is the SI unit of the momentum? It is kilogram meter per second, while in CGS system it is gram centimeter per second, because the momentum momentum is the product of mass into velocity. The unit of the mass is in SI system is kilogram. So now it is kilogram, and the unit of the velocity is the meter per second in SI system. So that's why its unit is the kilogram meter per second. The rate of change of momentum is proportional to applied force as well as the momentum occurs in the direction of the force. Suppose an object of the mass m has an initial velocity u. When force F is applied to the direction of its velocity for time t, its velocity becomes v. So suppose if any object in motion and its initial velocity is u and its final velocity becomes the v after the time t, टाइम में क्या हो रहा है उसका फाइनल वेलोसिटी v. The initial momentum of object will be m into u because the momentum is the mass into velocity and initial velocity is the u. So m into u and its final momentum will become m into v. So rate of change of momentum. So change in the momentum upon time. So therefore rate of change of momentum will be mv minus mu because the final momentum is mv and the initial momentum is mu. So rate of change will become mv minus mu upon t, and this equals to m in bracket v minus u because m is common in both the momentums, जो final momentum as well as in the initial momentum. So that's why m is taken as common, and this becomes m into a because v minus u upon 2 is nothing but the acceleration. What is the v minus u upon t? It is acceleration. So at place of the v minus u upon t, a is written. According to Newton's second law of motion, the rate of change of momentum is proportional to the applied force. So ma directly proportional to F. So therefore F is equals to K ma, where K is the constant of the proportionality and its value is 1. So when value of K becomes 1, then F is equals to mass into acceleration. So here we got the formula of the force. Force is equals to mass into acceleration. Consider the two objects having the different masses which are initially at rest. The initial momentum for both is 0 because when any object at rest, then the velocity is 0. And the momentum is the product of the mass into velocity. So when velocity is 0, the momentums become the 0. Suppose a force F acts for the time t on the both objects. Lighter objects start moving faster than the heavier object. However, from the above formula, we know that rate of change of momentum, that is F, in both the object is same and the total change in their momentum will be also same. So this is equals to Ft. Thus, if the same force is applied on the different object, change in momentum is the same. It means if same force is applied, the same momentum will produced. In SI system, the unit of force is Newton. What is the unit of force? Newton. Newton. The force necessary to cause an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in an object of the mass 1 kilogram is called 1 Newton. So what is 1 Newton? When force necessary to cause to acceleration of the 1 meter per second square in an object of mass 1 kilogram is called 1 Newton. So 1 Newton is equals to 1 kilogram into 1 meter per second square. In CGS system, the unit of force is dyne. जो CGS system है, okay, the force का जो unit है वो क्या है, dyne. So this you have to remember here, okay. What is the unit of force? Unit of force in CGS system is dyne, whereas SI system of the unit of the force in SI system is Newton. Okay, remember this. In Sijan system, unit of force is dyne. The force necessary to cause an acceleration of 1 centimeter per second square in an object of mass 1 gram is called 1 dyne. So 1 dyne is equals to 1 gram into 1 centimeter per second square. So here you have to remember these units. Okay, what is the unit of the force in SI system? So you have to remember it is Newton, and in the CGS system the unit of force is the dyne. Now Newton's third law of motion, and remember the example, at least 5 examples. We have learnt about the force and its effect on an object through the Newton first and second law of the motion. फर्स्ट लॉ में और सेकेंड लॉ में हमने क्या लर्न किया? What are the effect of the force on the object? That we have learned in the second as well in the first law of motion. However, in nature force cannot act alone. But nature में क्या है? Force अकेला किसी ऑब्जेक्ट पे अप्लाई नहीं होता है. Means different forces acts on that object. Force is reciprocal action between the two objects. Force always applied in pairs. कोई भी फोर्स जो है वो पेयर्स में क्या होता है? अप्लाइड होता है. When one object applies a force on another object, the latter object also simultaneously applies a force on the former object. तो अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट किसी दूसरे ऑब्जेक्ट पे फोर्स अप्लाई करता है तो सेम in equal quantity but in opposite direction that object also applied force on the previous object. तो ये क्या है? ये थर्ड लॉ ऑफ मोशन है. मीन्स फॉर एवरी एक्शन देयर इज अ इक्वल एंड इन अपोजिट डायरेक्शन द रिएक्शन. सेम अमाउंट में क्या होगा वहाँ पे? रिएक्शन. तो जितना फोर्स क्या होगा? फर्स्ट ऑब्जेक्ट अप्लाई करता है जितना फोर्स, दूसरा ऑब्जेक्ट जिसके ऊपर वो फोर्स अप्लाई हुआ वो भी अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में सेम क्वांटिटी फोर्स अप्लाई करता है. तो दिस इज द थर्ड लॉ ऑफ मोशन. ओके, और ये एग्जांपल जो है रॉकेट जो होता है, ये एग्जांपल्स उसके ऊपर ये अप्लाई होता है. द फोर्स बिटवीन द टू ऑब्जेक्ट्स आर ऑलवेज इक्वल एंड अपोजिट. दिस आइडिया इज एक्सप्रेस इन द न्यूटन्स थर्ड लॉ ऑफ मोशन. The force applied by first object is called action, and force while the force applied by the second object is called reaction force. तो जो फर्स्ट ऑब्जेक्ट फोर्स जो अप्लाई कर रहा है सेकेंड ऑब्जेक्ट पे उसको एक्शंस बोलते हैं, और जो सेकेंड ऑब्जेक्ट फर्स्ट वन पे जो फोर्स अप्लाई करता है उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? रिएक्शंस. या सेकेंड वाले को अगर हम एक्शन कंसिडर करते हैं तो फर्स्ट वन पे जो फोर्स अप्लाई होगा दैट विल बी रिएक्शंस. एक्शंस एंड रिएक्शंस आर टर्म्स दैट एक्सप्रेस फोर्स. दोनों क्या एक्सप्रेस करते हैं? फोर्स. दिस फोर्सेस एक्ट्स इन पेयर. वन फोर्स कैन नॉट एग्जिस्ट बाय इटसेल्फ. दोनों फोर्सेस क्या होते हैं? पेयर्स में होते हैं, ये अकेले एग्जिस्ट नहीं होता है. एक्शन एंड रिएक्शन फोर्सेस एक्ट साइमल्टेनियसली. ये दोनों एक्शन और रिएक्शन साथ साथ में अप्लाई होते हैं. Actions and reaction forces act on the different object. Remember this. Reactions as well as reaction as well as the reaction and actions both acts on the different object. They do not act on the same object and hence cannot cancel each other's effect. ये दोनों एक ही ऑब्जेक्ट पे नहीं अप्लाई होते, दैट्स वाई देयर इफेक्ट्स आर नॉट कैंसल्ड. बट अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल your notebook, if it is placed on the bench, so the force applied by that book on the bench is equals to the force applied by bench on the book. So that's why here force become equal. तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? एक्शन एंड रिएक्शन फोर्सेस सेम ऑब्जेक्ट पे अप्लाई हो रहा है, दैट्स वाई द इफेक्ट बिकम जीरो. यूज योर ब्रेन पावर. While hitting a ball with a bat, the speed of the bat decreases. While hitting a ball with the bat, the speed of the bat decreases. जब बॉल को हिट करते बैट से तो जो बैट होती है उसकी स्पीड डिक्रीज होती है. ए गन रिकॉइल्स दैट इज मूव बैकवर्ड व्हेन द बुलेट इज फायर्ड. जब बुलेट को फायर करते हैं या जो गन जो होती है, गन से जब शूट करते हैं, जब गन से शूट करते हैं तो जितने फोर्स से वो गन की जो बुलेट्स होते हैं वो फॉरवर्ड डायरेक्शन में मूव होते हैं, सेम उतने ही फोर्स से वो गन जो है बैकवर्ड डायरेक्शन में भी फोर्स अप्लाई करती है। मैकेनिज्म ऑफ फायरिंग ऑफ रॉकेट, जो मैकेनिज्म है रॉकेट की फायरिंग की वो भी सेम अप्लाई होता है। जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल जो रॉकेट होता है, इन दैट द फ्यूल्स आर फिल्ड एंड व्हेन द फ्यूल्स आर बर्न, when the fuels are burned, that time the gases exhausted by burning of that fuel, and that gases exert the force in the downward direction. In the same amount the force is applied on that rocket, and that's why is that rockets move ahead and ahead. How will you explain this with the help of Newton third law of motion? इसको न्यूटन के थर्ड लॉ ऑफ मोशन से कैसे एक्सप्लेन करोगे? Now law of conservation of the momentum. Law of conservation of momentum. Next part क्या है? What is the next part? Law of conservation of momentum. Suppose an object A has a mass m1 and initial velocity u1. An object B has the mass m2 and initial velocity u2. According to formula for momentum, initial momentum of A is m1 u1 and that of B is m2 u2. सपोज दीज टू ऑब्जेक्ट कोलाइड। अब इसमें क्या दिखाया है कि दो ऑब्जेक्ट है, एक का मास m1 है और उसकी इनिशियल वेलोसिटी v1 है, एंड जो दूसरी ऑब्जेक्ट है दैट ऑब्जेक्ट्स मास इज m2 एंड इट्स इनिशियल वेलोसिटी इज u2. सपोज द टू ऑब्जेक्ट कोलाइड, कोलाइड मीन्स दे एनकाउंटर्स, ओके, एक दूसरे से क्या करते, कोलाइड होते, टकराते हैं. Let the force on A due to B is F1. This force will cause the acceleration in A and its velocity will become V1. Okay, what happens? Suppose force is applied on the first object and the force will cause acceleration in A and its velocity become Vi. The momentum of A after collision will become m1 v1. According to Newton's third law of motion, and A also exert an equal force on B but the opposite direction. This will cause a change in momentum of B if the velocity after collision is v2. The momentum of the B after collisions become the m2 v2. If the F2 is the force that acts on object B, so therefore F2 is equals to minus F1, because both forces are equal in quantity but their directions are same, opposite. That's why so this will be written as F2 is equals to minus F1. Now we know that force is equals to mass into acceleration, so that's why for the object 2, for the F2, this will be m2 a2, and for m1 minus m1 and a1. Okay, now therefore m2 n2. Now we will substitute the value of acceleration. We know that acceleration is the rate of change of the velocity. क्या है acceleration? Rate of change of the velocity. So that's why m2 into v2 minus u2 upon t, because a2 is written in the form of this rate of change of momentum, rate of change of acceleration. Okay, now m2 into v1 minus v1 upon t. Now multiply, कैंसल आउट टी एंड टी फ्रॉम बोथ साइड्स. यहाँ पे दोनों जगह पे क्या प्रेजेंट है, डिनोमिनेटर में टी, तो दिस टी नाउ गेट कैंसल, ये दोनों टी टी कैंसल हो जाएगा. देन यू विल गेट m2 v2 माइनस u2 इज इक्वल्स टू माइनस m1 v1 माइनस u1. ओके, नाउ मल्टीप्लाई द v2 बाय m2, तो यू विल गेट m2 into v2 and m2 into minus u2 will become equals to minus m2 and v2, and right hand side m1 into v1, so this will give you minus m1 v1. Now minus minus when multiplied it will become plus, so that's why m1 into minus m1 into minus u1 becomes m1 into u1. So therefore now yes, arrange the terms. अब क्या करना है, टर्म्स को अरेंज करना है. Now bring the m2 v2 and m1 v1 on one side. दोनों को क्या करना है, हम लोगों को वन साइड में शिफ्ट करना है. ओके, तो m2 v2. Now bring the minus m1 v1 on the left hand side, so this will become plus m1 and v1. And now bring the minus m2 v2 on the right hand side, so this will be m1 m1 u1 and plus m2 v2. So now both sides are equal. तो द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ द टोटल फाइनल मोमेंटम, यहाँ पे m2 and v2 and plus m1 and v1, these two are the final momentum, and the m1 and u1 and m2 and u2, these are the magnitude of the total initial momentums. Thus, if the no external force acting on the two objects, then their total initial momentum is equal to their final momentum. Okay, so what happens here? The final momentum is equals to initial momentum. This is statement true for any numbers of objects when no external force act on the two interacting object. अगर कोई external force दो interacting object पे apply नहीं हो, their total momentum remain constant. It does not change. तो उनका क्या है, total momentum constant रहता है और change होता नहीं है. Means external force is necessary to change the momentum. This is corollary to the Newton's third law of the motion. The momentum is unchanged after their collision. जो मोमेंटम होता है वो क्या है, कोलिजन के बाद चेंज होता है. मोमेंटम गेट्स रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड बिटवीन द कोलाइडिंग ऑब्जेक्ट, और वो मोमेंटम जो है उस कोलाइडिंग ऑब्जेक्ट्स में क्या होता है, रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो जाता है, स्प्रेड हो जाता है. The momentum of one of the object decreases while that of also increases. Thus we can so state that corollary as follows: when the two objects collide, total momentum before collision is equals to total momentum after the collision. Okay, what we have learned here, that total momentum before the collision is equals to total momentum after the collision. In order to understand this principle, let us consider the example of bullet fired from a gun. When bullet of the mass m1 is fired from a gun of the mass m2, its velocity become v1. Okay, now here the mass of the bullet is m1 and mass of the gun is m2. Bullet's mass is taken as m1 and the mass of the gun is taken m2. Its velocity become the v1 and its momentum become m1 and v1, because the momentum is the mass into velocity. So here the bullet's momentum will be m1 because the mass of the bullet is m1, and v1 is the velocity of that bullet. Before firing this bullet, both the guns and the bullet are at rest and the total initial momentum is zero. Before firing the bullet को फायर करने के पहले गन एंड बुलेट बोथ वे रेस्ट, दोनों रेस्ट में थे, तो दैट्स वाई टोटल इनिशियल मोमेंट विल बी जीरो. अकॉर्डिंग टू द अबव लॉ, द टोटल फाइनल मोमेंटम आल्सो हैज टू बी जीरो. Thus, the forward moving bullet caused the gun to move backward after firing. तो जो फॉरवर्ड क्या है, बुलेट्स है, मूविंग बुलेट्स है. ओके, दैट कॉज द गन टू मूव बैकवर्ड आफ्टर फायरिंग. दिस बैकवर्ड मोशन ऑफ गन इज कॉल्ड रिकॉइल. और ये बैकवर्ड मोशन में जो गन मूव होती है, बैकवर्ड डायरेक्शन में जो गन क्या होती है, मोशन शो करती, दैट कॉल्ड रिकॉइल. द वेलोसिटी ऑफ रिकॉइल इज v2 is that such that m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equals to 0, or v2 is equals to minus m1 upon m2 into v1. Okay, now you have to remember this. As the mass of gun is much higher than the mass of the bullet. As you know that the mass of the gun is higher than the mass of that bullet. The velocity of gun is much smaller. The velocity of gun is much smaller than the velocity of the bullet. तो velocity जो गन की है वो वेलोसिटी जो क्या है गन की है वो बहुत ही लेस है एज कंपेयर टू द वेलोसिटी ऑफ द bullet. The magnitude of the momentum of the bullets and that of gun are equal and their directions are opposite. The magnitude of the momentum जो magnitude of the momentum of bullet and that of gun are equal and then directions are opposite. और तो जो मोमेंटम है द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ मोमेंटम ऑफ द बुलेट एंड दैट ऑफ गन आर इक्वल एंड देयर डायरेक्शंस आर अपोजिट. तो दोनों के मोमेंटम सेम होते बट उनकी जो डायरेक्शंस होते दे आर एग्जैक्टली अपोजिट. Thus total momentum is becomes constant and total momentum is also constant during the launch of the rocket. तो जैसा ही सेम गन का जैसा मोमेंटम तुमने लर्न किया इन सेम वे द मोमेंटम इज in case of the rockets. Now see the solved examples. Let's see the solved example. Example 1. Mass of a cannon is 500 kilogram. जो मास है कैनन का जो 500 ग्राम्स एंड इट्स रिकॉइल विद द स्पीड ऑफ 0.25 मीटर पर सेकेंड. व्हाट इज द मोमेंटम ऑफ द कैनन. ओके, अब जो मास कैनन का 500 किलोग्राम्स है तो दिस इज द मास एंड इट रिकॉइल्स विथ स्पीड और जो रिकॉइलिंग की स्पीड है वो दैट इज 0.25 मीटर पर सेकेंड. एंड व्हाट वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट हियर मोमेंटम ऑफ दैट कैनन. नाउ गिवन्स आर the speed of recoiling and the mass of that cannon. Now momentum will be mass into velocity. So 500 into 0.25. So you have to multiply the 500 by the 0.25. So here you will get 125 kilogram per meter seconds. Okay. Now see the second example. Two balls have the masses of the 50 grams and 100 gram respectively and they are moving along the same line in the same direction with velocity 3 meter per second and 1.5 meter per second respectively. They collide with each other and after the collision the first ball moves with the velocity of the 2.5. Calculate the velocity of the other ball after the collision. So what are given here? The mass of the first ball is m1 and it is given as the 50 grams and that of the second ball is 100 gram and they move along the same line in the same direction and velocities are also given. v1 is equals to 3 meter per second and the v2 is 1.5 meter per second. Now, according to law of conservation of momentum, total initial momentum is equals to final momentum. So here m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equals to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So now substitute the values. m1 is equals to what? 0.05. 0.05 because it is given in the grams we have to convert into kilograms. So divide the 50 by the 1000 then you will get the 0.05 kilograms into 3 because yes velocity is 3 m2 into v2. Now mass of the second object is 100 grams. Now divide by the 1000 you will get the 0.1. So 0.1 into 1.5 and mass 1 into v2. So 0.05 into now velocity v2 final velocity becomes the 2.5 after the collision and in plus 0.1 into v2 we have to find out the v2. Now is multiply the 0.05 by 3 so you will get 0.15 and 0.1 into 1.5 you will get 0.15 and here 0.05 into 2.5 so here you will get 0.125 plus 0 into 1 into V2. Now bring this 0.125 on the left hand side and add these two. So 0.15, 0.1.15 will become 0.3. Now 3 minus 0.125. So this will give you 0.175, and here divided by 0.1 because 0.1 into V is there. So this is equals to 1.75 meter per second. Okay student, I think you understood. You have to read the whole chapters once again at home. You have to solve the solved examples. Now I will send the question answers in the next period. Now unmute yourself, and if you have any doubt, ask to me now. Yes student, is anybody having any doubt? Apsara, Alia. Okay, when I send the question answer, you have to note down in your notebook. Okay, make the science 1, science 2 separate notebooks, or yes, make the bifurcations. Okay, divide that notebook into two parts. In first part write the question answer of the first part, and in second write down the question answer of the second parts. Okay, understood? And make the long notebook and keep the record of the question answers. Okay, now I am ending the meeting.